prophet of Babylon, a prince of the earth. From a higher through your shire, I'ma give you the word. They kept crafty counsel and dealt with us wisely. Tried to hide our name and origin, had us walking blindly. Trying to figure out why it feel like it's us against them. Why these penitentiaries is full of brown and black men. Why we stronger, why we better, look like we could live forever. But we the sickest and the poorest, that shit don't go together. You Jacob better wake up, see through they makeup. You are the devil's target, you ain't making that shit up. Since you Israel, they administering a death at birth. They goal is to poison the most.
Hi, welcome to Ahia's Armory. I'm Prince Sharu.
I'm Prince Jody Rue.
And today, we're going to be going into the hidden enemies of God and His children. So, we're going to start this off in Genesis. But, before we do, a lot of people have been saying that the videos are too long. I don't understand how they're too long. You can sit around and watch Maria in a dress.
Who wanna see that?
You can watch that and get nothing out of it. But here we are in the midst of a war, and we can't stop being entertained for an hour out of a week, because it only, we're putting out like a video a week. We should be putting out more. But it comes a time when we have to put the foolishness down and get some knowledge. And I hope you're able to listen to this whole episode, because right now we're about to go into some information that's going to require a lot of reading. Some of you have been going to church for 30 years. Never have any of these scumbucket preachers that you've been listening to gave you as many verses as we're about to give you out of this book. So, Prince Jody, let's go.
Starting with Genesis chapter 33, verse 17. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth and built him a house and made booths for his cattle. Therefore the name of this place is called Succoth. Verse 18. And Jacob came to Shalem, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan. And when he came from Padan Aram and pitched his tent before the city.
So now, we're giving you this information to run down on the beginning, just so that you get an understanding of what this is. This is our forefather going to an area that he's not accustomed to. He's coming from another area. He's pitching his tent in a new environment. Let's go. So I'm just giving some backstory so that you see that he is what you would call a foreigner in this land. Let's go.
Now we're picking up at Genesis chapter 34, verse 2, verse 1. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor the Hivite, the prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her.
So, what you have going on is a daughter of Israel out and about in a place where her family has just moved into. She's trying to go meet some of the people in the area. If you go deeper into the story, there's actually a pagan event going on where I think it's Mother's Day.
Mother's Day or something like that, yeah.
So she's out of pocket because she's not supposed to be out here in this foolishness. But nonetheless, she's out here and she gets raped. Now I'm going to give you some backstory on who Shechem is. Shechem is a son of Ham. Ham is the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negro. You can find this in your Zondervan Bible Dictionary. And it lets you know that we, the Negro, are not Africans. But we're going into this because we're telling you who Ham's children are. So, Ham, one of Noah's sons, sees his father's nakedness. which means his father's wife. A union or some madness took place, and the Ham didn't get cursed. His son Canaan did. Canaan was cursed with leprosy. So, what we see is after the flood, the very first person to be cursed is Canaan, to servitude of all of his brothers, which is the children of Shem and the children of Japheth, and his brothers, the other African nations, your Ethiopians, Libyans, Canaanites, the African families. So, now we have a child of Canaan raping an Israelite. And he's a prince, I believe.
Yeah, his dad is.
So this is royalty running around raping folks. Let's continue.
And Shechem spoke unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife.
Look, I've already raped her, but I gotta have it. I want her. Keep going.
Verse 5. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter. Now his sons were in with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come.
So, Jacob knows what's going on. He knows that his daughter's being raped. But he's trying his best to think about it and process it before he delivers this to his children, to his sons. Pick it up.
Verse 7. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought foully in Israel, in line with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done.
So, they brought folly on the children of Israel by defiling a daughter of Zion. Because if you know the law and you know the Bible, it is a sin to make a harlot out of a daughter of Zion. So all you with your pimping and all that, you better get it together.
Right.
So, now the brothers is like, hey, again, these are the men of Israel, and their sisters just been raped. Continue.
And Hamor communed with them, saying, The soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you give her him to wife.
So now he's coming to Jacob like, hey, we apologize. Well, I don't even think he apologized. He said, look, we know what he did, but look, he want her for a wife. Hey,
we're going to let him have her anyway.
Let's make this thing work. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you.
So, do you see right here what happens when families merge together and unions are brought together? Now, this is not a real union. This is wickedness going down, and you have the children of Canaan thinking that somebody's going to participate in this wickedness. Continue.
Verse 10. And ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be for you, dwell and trade you therein.
So look, we're going to do business together, we're going to work, we're going to trade, we're going to be as one. Continue.
And get you possessions therein.
Continue. Is that it right there?
Verse 15.
We're skipping down because we have a lot of reading to do, so we're leaving out the things that don't, you can go back and get these. We're going to the information that you need.
Verse 15. But in this we will consent unto you, if ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised.
So now you have the children of Israel saying, look, okay. We have the children of Judah saying, look, we'll go ahead and we'll let you marry our sister. They're deceiving them. But nonetheless, he's saying, okay, we'll let you do it, but we can't allow this because we have a custom of circumcision. So in order for us to join you, you have to take up our custom, which is circumcision, physical. Go ahead.
Verse 16. Then we will give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters unto us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people.
So again, when you marry and you enter and you join families, you become one. You pick up the same customs, ideas, beliefs, and even gods. This is something that you need to remember this. Continue, because later on you're going to need that information. Keep going.
Verse 17. But if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then we will take our daughter, and we will be gone.
So if you don't get down with our customs, nah, we not doing it. We out. Keep going.
Verse 18. And their words pleased Hamor, and Shechem, Hamor's son.
Keep going.
Verse 19. And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father.
So, you have one man not really wanting to do this, but he's the honorable of his house. Keep going.
Verse 20. And Hamor and Shechem his son came unto the gate of their city, and communed with the men of their city, saying, verse 21, These men are peaceable with us, therefore let them dwell in the land, and trade therein. For the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters.
So, they're coming to an agreement like, look, let's just do it. They're not. Nobody's talking about the rape that just took place. They just saying, look.
Forgot all about that.
Yeah, we're not even discussing that. But they got cattle. It's a thing. They got things popping. So, hey, let's do it. It can be profitable for us. We can all work in this land together. Go ahead.
Verse 22. Only herein will the men consent unto us, for to dwell with us to be one people, if every male among us be circumcised as they are circumcised. Verse 23.
So he's taking that information back to his people. He's getting everybody in the village. He's getting all the men.
Letting them all know.
Letting them all know, like, hey, this is what we got to do. We just to get down with Jacob and them. So in order for us to run with them, this is what we got to do.
Verse 23. Shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours?
They popping. They got money. They gonna bring that over. They gonna add with us that, hey, we good. Go ahead.
Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us.
So if we want to be a part of this, we have to consent and get circumcised. Keep going.
Verse 24. And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearkened all that went out of his gate of his city, and every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city.
So they went down. They're going along with it. Keep going.
Verse 25. And it came to pass on the 30th day, when they were sore, that the two sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon to the city boldly, and slew all of the males.
So, as you can see, they set him up. You raped our sister. Okay, yeah, it's cool. We're going to let you marry her. Manipulated him, lied to him. Once they were all circumcised and still in pain, went through, killed every male in the city. So, we have to remember that. Keep going.
Verse 26. And they slew Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went out.
And this is royalty. These are princes that they're warring with. This is not just some bum off the street. So they went in. They're knocking down royal bloodlines. Keep going.
Verse 27. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister.
Took everything.
Destroyed everything.
Took it all. Killed the men. Killed the... Keep going.
Verse 28. They took their sheep and their oxen and their asses, and that which was in the city and that which was in the field. Verse 29. And all their wealth and all their little ones and their wives took they captive, and spoiled even all that was in the house.
So they took the women and children captive after killing all the men, and put them in servitude, slavery, bondage. Is that it? Now, we got one. Okay, we got one more. Go ahead. Give it to him.
Verse 30. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, Ye have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the
Hold
land.
on. You hear that? Man, you got...
You caused so much trouble for me.
Now, I'm going to break this down into modern slang. You done got me in some shit with these people. Whose land I'm living in. Read it again.
And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, Ye have troubled me to make me the stink among the inhabitants of the land.
So, he like, man, y'all done went out here and did all this. You done killed these people up. I didn't tell you to do that now. I can't even dwell peacefully in this land. Keep going.
Amongst the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And I, being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me and slay me.
It ain't even enough of us. Y'all done went over there, killed these people. Now what's gonna happen if they decide to stand up and come do something? Because it's not that many of us. You think the children of Jacob care about this madness that their father talking? Hey, keep going.
And I shall be destroyed, I and my house.
So, now, we had to give this backstory on this so that you get an understanding of our dealings with the Canaanites. Now, you know that the Canaanites are Africans. But if you're reading the scripture, you also know that they are leprous Canaanites. So, which means they have no color, they're pale. What people would call white. But they are clean lepers, meaning they don't have a bunch of spots on them. This world has taught you that leprosy is some madness where you get a scab or, oh yeah, that's eczema, that's leprosy. No, it's not. Read the Bible. Again, don't listen to the devil and their madness. So, now we're going to jump to, I think, Judges.
Right.
Because we need some more understanding on what's going on with these people. Now, matter of fact, go. Because, again, we got a lot of reading to do. So just go.
Book of Judges, chapter 1, verse 4. And Judah went up, and the Lord delivered the Canaanites and the Perizzites into their hand, and they slew them in Bezek, 10,000 men.
So, Judah and them, these are brothers. It's not no army. This is a family. Went in and killed 10,000 of these people. This is Judah. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And they found Adonai Bezek in Bezek, and they fought against him, and they slew the Canaanites and the Perizzites.
So, they're running through.
And everybody, everything.
Keep going.
Verse 6. But Adonai Bezek fled, and they pursued after him, and caught him, and cut off his thumbs and his great toes.
Oh, so now they're torturing. Yeah. So now they're torturing, the children of Judah are torturing and mutilating. Again, they're not just beefing with, this is a royal bloodline that they're dealing with. Out of Africa. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And Adonai Bezek said, 70 kings haunting their thumbs and their great toes cut off, gathered their meat under my table, as I have done. So God hath required me, and they brought him to Jerusalem, and there he died.
So, as you can see, it's a whole lot of killing going on in this war between the Canaanites and the children of Judah. And if you watch the last lesson that we did on, what was it? Was it the healthcare system
versus the Bible?
No, that wasn't the last. Christian persecution. So, in the last video, we talked a little bit about the Canaanites. But we didn't do no big, we you constantly hear me talk about them being sorcerers and whatnot. But keep going.
Jumping down to verse 9. And afterward the children of Judah went down to fight against the Canaanites that dwelt in the mountain and in the south and in the valley.
So these are the mountain men of Canaan. Now, there's a little backstory to this. Because prior to all of this, we camped out around these people's land. And they had a big wall around this land. And we didn't have to do nothing except listen to the Most High. Walk around this area so many times, stop, then yell. And it brought the walls down.
The walls in Jericho.
So, you have to understand the people. You have to understand really who we are. And you have to understand what's going on right here. So now we're into these people's land. We're going to war with them. We're knocking these people off. Now, pick back up.
Verse 10. And Judah went against the Canaanites that dwelt in Hebron. Now the name of Hebron before was Kiriath Arba. And they slew Sheshai and Ahiman and Talmai.
Okay. Keep going.
Jumping down to verse 12. And Caleb said, He that smiteth Kiriath Sepher and taketh it, to him will I give Aksah my daughter to wife.
So now we're putting bounties on. Look, I give you my daughter.
If you could take them. Yep.
And back then, that was to have a king's daughter, especially a righteous king, which means he raised a righteous daughter, which means this is gonna be a good wife. He putting that out there for whoever go handle this business and take care of this hit. Keep going.
Jumping down to verse 16. And the children of the Kenite, Moses' father-in-law, went up out of the city of palm trees.
Now, who was a Kenite? Kenites. Not to be confused with the Canaanite. These are the children of Cain. Now, eventually, the children of Cain, because Satan has a physical bloodline in this earth, Cain is his son. This particular individual would eventually meet up with these people. So I want to put that out there so that you understand what a Kenite is. These are the children of Cain. Now, we know that Cain is the first murderer. Bold, not in the truth. So we know who this individual is, but understand, just like with Esau, even with the children of Israel, not all of Israel is Israel. So just like not all of us are operating and doing what they're supposed to do as Israel, not all the children of Cain are operating and acting in the fashion of their leaders and rulers, the same as Esau. Not all of Esau's children are participating in the activity of him, of Amalek, and the rest of the Jebusites and the Hittites and all these different people. These are the ones. So this is so that you don't target people and be looking at a whole nation of people in a certain way. There's no 100% in anything. Keep going.
Went up out of the city of palm trees with the children of Judah into the wilderness of Judah, which lieth in the south of Arad, and they went and dwelt amongst the people.
Keep going.
Verse 17. And Judah went with Simeon his brother, and they slew the Canaanites that inhabited Zephath, and utterly destroyed it. And the name of the city was called Hormah.
Still out conquering, destroying complete lands.
Utterly destroying.
And running them off. Keep reading.
Verse 18. Also Judah took Gaza with the coast thereof, and Askelon with the coast thereof, and Ekron with the coast thereof. Verse 19. And the Lord was with Judah, and he drove out the inhabitants of the mountain, but could not drive out the inhabitants of the valley, because they had chariots of Yeron.
Okay. Keep it going.
Verse 20. And they gave Hebron unto Caleb, as Moses said, and he expelled thence the 3 sons of Anak.
Okay.
Verse 21. And the children of Benjamin did not drive out the Jebusites that inhabited Jerusalem.
Why?
But the Jebusites dwelt with the children of Benjamin in Jerusalem unto this day.
So why didn't they do it? They was told to get rid of them. Didn't listen. Go ahead.
Verse 22. And the house of Joseph, they also went up against Bethel, and the Lord was with them. Jumping down to verse 24. And the spies saw a man come forth out of the city, and they said unto him, Show us, we pray thee, the entrance into the city, and we shall show thee mercy.
So, you tell us how to get in your city, we won't knock you off. Go on.
Verse 25. And he showed them the entrance into the city, and they smote the city with the edge of the sword. But they let go the man and all his family.
Keep on going.
Verse 26. And the man went into the land of Hittites and built a city and called the name thereof Luz, which is the name thereof unto this day.
Keep on going.
Verse 27. Neither did Manasseh drive out the inhabitants of Bethshan and her towns, nor Tanakh and her towns, nor the inhabitants of Dor and her towns, nor the inhabitants of Ibalam and her towns, nor the inhabitants of Megiddo and her towns, but the Canaanites would dwell in that land.
Again, not following instructions. Keep going.
Verse 28. And it came to pass, when Israel was strong, that they put the Canaanites to tribute, and did not utterly drive them out.
And they were supposed to utterly drive them out, as they were told. Some of them were told to completely destroy who they were going after. Now keep going, because there's a consequence to not listening.
Verse 29. Neither did Ephraim drive out the Canaanites that dwelt in Gezer, but the Canaanites dwelt in Gezer among them. Verse 30. Neither did Zebulun drive out the inhabitants of Kitron, nor the inhabitants of Nahalal, but the Canaanites dwelt among them and became tributaries.
Again.
Not listening.
Yeah.
Letting everyone live among them.
Doing what you're told not to do. And there's a consequence for this. Yeah, you're about to see. Keep going.
Verse 31. Neither did Asher drive out the inhabitants of Akko, nor the inhabitants of Zidon, nor of Alab, nor Akzib, nor Helbath, nor Apik, nor of Rehab.
Okay, keep going.
Verse 32. But the Asherites dwelt among the Canaanites, the inhabitants of the land, for they did not drive them out.
Like I said, we're doing a lot of reading, and I'm trying not to do much interfering. You need to listen to what is going on. Keep going.
Verse 33. Neither did Naphtali drive out the inhabitants of Beth-Shemeth, nor the inhabitants of Bethanath, but he dwelt among the Canaanites, the inhabitants of the land. Nevertheless, the inhabitants of Beth-Shemesh and of Bethanath became tributaries unto them. Verse 34. And the Amorites forced the children of Dan into the mountain, for they would not suffer them to come down to the valley.
Okay.
Verse 35.
Somebody listen. Keep going.
But the Amorites would not dwell in Mount Heres, in Ayalon, and in Shalbim. Yet the hand of the house of Joseph prevailed, so that they became tributaries.
Okay. Now, jump down.
Jumping down to chapter 2, verse 2. And ye shall make no league with the inhabitants of this land. You shall throw down their altars, but ye have not obeyed my voice. Now, why have ye done this?
You see? It was clear instructions on what is to be done. Again, just like it's clear instructions in this book on what to do, following the law, how to treat your people, all of these things. But again, you still got a bunch of us who aren't listening. And because you don't listen, keep going.
Verse 3.
Because, hold up, because one of the main people that didn't listen is Israel, which is going to be your Mexicans, Dominicans, even some of the Native Americans. It's going to be all these people. These are the ones who didn't listen. You already, Judah, they did what they, keep going.
Verse 3. Wherefore I also said, I will not drive them out before you, but they shall be a thorn in your sides, and their God shall be a snare unto you.
So, if you're What's up?
That's what happened for not listening. All that.
Yeah, but go back just a little bit about the snare and their gods.
But they shall be a thorn in your sides, and their God shall be a snare unto you.
So, who are these gods that they're talking about? Everything that the Mexicans are seeing in these whorehouses that they're calling churches. This is talking about, again, we told you that Mary, that has nothing to do with that demon holding that demon baby. Now, if you want to know, we told you before that it may be a nickname, but that is not Mary of the Bible. That is Semiramis, right, a.k.a. Lilith, the screech owl. You can find her in the Bible. This particular demon is the thorn in your side. This is the God that you can't let go of. Why? Because you just won't listen. And we're telling you now, and we keep giving the information. We can put it out there 1,000 ways. We can show you the Catholic Church. We can show you the madness that they're into. And again, you'll still have people that'll still be talking about some pagan ignorance.
Talking about that's not why I celebrate it. Like, yeah, that makes a difference.
We'll always look. You think because you want it to be something that's what it is? Want to be a millionaire then?
Yeah. Because you want to do it for your kids.
Yeah, you want to be a millionaire for your kids. Let's see how that play out.
Yep.
Look. Understand that there's a consequence to not paying attention. Where we at?
Verse 4.
And where we going after that?
That's it.
Okay. Now, read this last part.
Verse 4. And it came to pass, when the angel of the Lord spoke these words unto all the children of Israel, that the people lift up their voice and wept.
Why? Because now they understand. They're crying now because they know what the Most High just said is going to come true. And this is exactly what we're seeing today. So, a lot of you may be wondering, well, what's going on? Who are the hidden enemies? Well, these Canaanites who we did all this destroying against, while you sitting around focused on Esau, these are the people that have the real beef against you. Way deeper than what Esau got.
Yeah.
We know who Esau is. We got this. But if you're wondering why you see all this madness in America with pyramids everywhere and these gods of Egypt, this has nothing to do with Esau. These are the children of Canaan. So, if you're sitting around wondering what happened to the children of Canaan after we dispersed them and took this land, well, they would eventually go on to the Asia area over in Turkey and all this and meet up with the children of Cain, who are the wicked children of Cain. You're your father, the devil. So, all of this, once you got the children of Canaan mating and mixing with the children of Cain, and then also mating with Esau, creating what you call mongrel empire, China, those are the children of Cain. Sinner, China. You can do this research yourself, but don't worry, again, something else that we're going to bring information on. But why are we telling you this and bringing this information out? Because right now, you're getting caught up, you're being manipulated, and you're being set up for war. Because again, you don't know who your enemy is. You don't, because your enemies are written in here. It's giving you all the information. So, these same mongrels and all this other madness, when you're hearing this stuff about the borders, and now they're making it where if you even say Asian, if you say something negative to an Asian if you want. you getting a hate crime. Nobody seems to be paying attention to this. But I'm seeing the word hate crime every time I look at the little bogus fake news. I'm constantly seeing somebody got a hate crime for something going on against an Asian.
Yeah, you ain't seen Stop Asian Hate?
Again, there is no Asian hate.
Yeah, all over social media.
Asians are going through the same amount of drama that they've always been going through, just like everybody else. First of all, they don't care about no Asian.
They even talking about Asian lives matter.
Look, man, these people do not care about no Asians. Well, they do, because these people, the poor, again, we just pick up things the same way we picked up black, the same way the Gentile, they're picking up white. The children of Japhet have now picked up some madness that was given to them by Genghis Khan, by these people, because Khans, again, these are Canaanites. So, just like you have the children of Ishmael, these different Arabs, who can blend in with the children of Issachar. You have the children of Ham that are blending in amongst the children of Israel. You have all these fallen ones, all their children. You got these people blending in with the Gentiles. Well, guess what? You have people blending in with the children of Japhet also. So, what you're seeing is the children of Canaan, not Esau. These are the people who worship. Well, these are the people who trace their bloodline through the woman.
Yeah.
So if you are trying to figure out, if you're still stuck in this madness, where would these people go? Like I said, they would eventually go create the Mongol Empire out in the Asia area, and then they would change their name to Khanites, which means Canaanites. Now, we understand that they're not really, they're faking to be, they're taking on the traditions of the children of Cain. You get what I'm saying? But in reality, these are who your enemies are. So if you keep listening and think you want to go back to Africa and all this foolishness, again, the people who are promoting all this ignorance and have you believing that got you believing Black Lives Matter, people like Biden. This is a Canaanite. People who our father, Ahia Shah Ahia, said aren't supposed to have rulership. They are forever to be servants. Why? Look at their behavior. So, these people, you wonder who Margaret Sanger is. That's not an Edomite. What is she? I just said
Margaret Sanger?
Yeah, what is she?
Canaanite.
You want to know who Joe Pedo Biden, what is he?
Canaanite.
These are not Edomites. So now, again, we're at war. Our kingdoms came to an end because of infighting between northern and southern Israel. So, with us fighting, the enemy was able to come in and conquer.
Divide and conquer, yeah.
So again, if you can't listen and get some knowledge for longer than 5 minutes, again, you should be asking yourself what the problem is. Because again, there's a war going on and you're still sitting around, would rather watch some foolishness instead of getting some knowledge. Now, I told you before, I didn't want to go into it in the last video. I started going, I was like, no, because I don't want to jump off. Now I'm going to go into what I was going into. I told you that these devils have a plan. And if you've been lit, first of all, anybody that knows me, they'll tell you. 7, 8 years ago, I was telling them, you better watch out for this transgender thing. Nobody, everybody, oh, you crazy. These celebrities, look, these celebrities that you think are, look, They're nothing but a bunch of transgenders, homosexuals, whatever it is you want to call them, LGBT. We're coming into a stage of revealing. So all of these things are about to become common. First of all, Megan Fox has already come out. You can see videos of, is that the Transformer?
The Transformer, yeah.
Yeah. Came out, said she was a transgender. Everybody think that it's a game. You don't see that all of a sudden this person who ain't been in a damn movie since Transformers, because that's what it is. That's all he is. You ain't seen this demon nowhere, but all of a sudden you can't stop hearing every time you look up in the news is this weirdo with this.
That rapper, what's his name? Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, again. So now, she's already come out. Mm-hmm. Or he, what, look. It. Thank you, brother. It has already come out and said that, look, I'm not a woman. You get what I'm saying? Da-da-da-da. Now, they're pumping this guy up to be the next great white hype. Huh. He's the next Eminem.
Like we need more of those.
Pretty soon, what you're about to hear is this. He's going to be, look.
The next best rapper.
Yeah, best rapper alive. Lil Wayne, Jay-Z. Look, y'all need to take some notes from this guy. Yep. Well, Jay-Z, you don't, because you already dead.
Hey, no.
Look. So, again, you need to understand the people who we are going to war with. They hate you. Your God has punished them to servitude. So what you're seeing in America now is these people are reaching. They looking to take Esau down. You get what I'm saying? So, just like our beefing and bickering caused the enslavement and the loss of our kingdom and all these things, this is what we are seeing in America now. You already have one group of people. We know the blasphemy of those who say they're Jews but are not. That's not Esau. But we know who these people are. The ones who, again, like we say, trace their lineage through their mother, Semiramis. These are Semites because they trace their lineage through the mother, Semiramis, not Shem. Yeah. If you're believing that these people don't know that that who Shem is, again, you're falling for the madness. They tell you, look, the scripture tells you how to identify people. So even though we go through the history of tracking these people down so that we can give you this information, all we have to do is look at the characteristics of the nations that are written of in the scripture. And we know that Satan, you'll find no better plagiarizer. I said something before about them knockoff Jordans that I bought. Guess where you think those, where'd they come from?
China.
You need a fake Gucci bag? Go to them plagiarizers. You want to know why over in China, if you want to praise a higher, they literally have underground churches. They don't even have the Bible there. They just sit there crying and praying. Why they don't got a Bible? First of all, it wouldn't make no sense to read whatever Bible that these damn devils gonna give them over there because, again, China they changed the Bible. Again, people who want to be in hell with their fathers, because the scripture tells you it's a consequence to changing anything in this Bible. So, when you research China, go check, because now the woman who Christ saved in the Bible from getting killed, they saying once the crowd left, what Yeshaya do? Went over there and bumped her off. You hear what I'm saying? Like, hey, right. If I let you sin somebody else to see this and keep on sinning, look at, and just knocked her off. Because this, again, the Bible is telling you who all of your enemies are. It tells you how to track these people and to see what's going on. Now they're invading America with their mongrel empire. And now they're going to make it where you can't touch these people. So, if you want to know what all this has stopped the Asian, again, it's fake. Nobody is running around here beefing with no Asians.
No, nobody.
You get what I'm saying? It's the same amount of whatever's going on with them has been the same amount that's been going on. But again, if you believe this cornball media ran by Satan, and again, it's flunkies, then you're going to be caught up in this. Believing and pushing some madness, talking about, yeah, we need to stop Asian hate. You haven't asked yourself how all of a sudden, all these Asians, you get a hate crime if you look at them wrong. But we've still, Arbery, is that his name?
Cool.
The dude who got killed, Ahmaud Arbery. Now, George Floyd. And again, Trayvon Martin. Sandra Bland. Like, you can name any of these cases where people are obviously targeting black people, children of Israel. Nobody's getting a hate crime. You see on video little Israelites, little black boys out here beating white people, like all of this. Nobody's getting a hate crime. People are asking for these. They're like, hey, well, it's not a hate crime on both sides. But all of a sudden, some oddball is coming in and all of a sudden they're getting these charges. You're being set up again by believing these devils. If you believe that you have to be black to be from Africa, well, then you're just unlearned. Canaanites are the people who are over your Democrat Party. Can you not see this? These are the people that are against your God. When we were in Egypt, when Joseph was in Egypt and somebody came in and didn't recognize his God and didn't recognize Joseph, this was not Esau. This was Canaan, who was already upset that the children of Israel came into their land, displayed their God, and made their God look silly. Made the Africans put down the gods of Africa in honor of Joseph and his God. So, Canaan, destined for slavery, bondage for the rest of his life, his children's eternity. So now, these people will do anything for power. Rob, steal, cheat to get it. So, if you're wondering what all this madness is going on in America right now, that's because it's wartime. So, again, for y'all, those of you who can't watch past 5 minutes, but can sit around and watch, what's one of the cornball shows they watching right now? I don't even know. Duh. Housewives of New Zealand. I don't know. Whatever it is you're watching, you can watch this madness, get no knowledge out of it, but you can sit up and binge watch this.
All day, all weekend.
And again, I have Gentiles that call me, text me, all this. These are the ones who are begging for the information. Our people are still, like I say, you better pay attention because you need to understand war. The Bible tells you, in order for them to take a place, when you're in war, if you plan to win, the first thing you do is bind the strong man. So, who's the strong man? It's Jacob. It's the children of Israel. So now, why do you think all these jails are filled up? They're binding the strong man. They're getting rid of them by convincing them that they, need to go have a medical procedure. They're targeting you. They're looking to get you out of the way. And guess what? Yes, Amalek is in there with them. So yes, you have Esau, you have Canaan, but guess what? Like I just said, they're beefing. And pretty soon, they're going to be an all-out war against each other. They already set the trap for us. They did they put their bug amongst us already. So, you're about to see our people losing their mind. But in the midst of that, these people are going to start fighting and warring against each other. These walls and borders and stuff that they're building, you need to understand war. They're bringing them in, shut down the city, got hotels full of foreigners who you don't know nothing about. They got National Guard everywhere. We are in war. We gave you a whole rundown of some of the things that our people did to these people. These grudges and these beefs, these things last forever. Hatfields and McCoys. People do not forget these things. We feel this. We don't forget because we know this Bible. So we know all the things that they've done to our ancestors. So we know how we feel, so we know how they feel.
Right.
So for us, we're teaching you how to prepare and fight in this spiritual war that we are in. We told you last week. Trouble, mental, spiritual warfare. That's what's going on. They're keeping you out of this so that you don't even know how to fight. Not only do you not know how to fight, you don't know who your enemy is. So, stop looking at everyone with pale skin and assuming this is Esau, this is Esau. The reason most people can't find out who Esau is because these people are devils. We know Esau's the Romans. But we also know that Romans don't care about no God. Esau does not care about a God, okay? Esau cares about weapons, technology, and whatever it's going to take to help him rule. He know who his God is because he know the God of Israel. He know everything that he can and can't do, how long he's going to rule because it's written in his book. If you believe that Esau's out here praying and dealing with another God, you're crazy. Esau don't care. The people who got all this Egyptology madness going around in America, these are the Canaanites. These are the ones walking around faking like they're you. Taking everything out of the playbook. Why? Because they know that it works. They saw us run into Africa and hide amongst their darker skinned brothers. So now these people are doing the same thing. Hiding amongst Gentiles and everything else. So, more information for you Gentiles. If you out here calling yourself things like Caucasians, stop. Because again, these are mongrels. This has nothing to do with you. You're a Gentile, be a Gentile. Represent that and not this madness. Now, we tried to make this one nice and easy for you. Making sure that you get an understanding. Because if you go through this book, guess what? These are not the only people that we've been in a war with. So again, once we disperse these people from their land, understand that they went into the areas of Turkey and all these different areas over there. These are Canaanites. They mixed with the people of Asia, creating Caucasians. We already know about Zepho and dealing. We already know about, look, pay attention. Horites, Horians. So the Horian dynasty and all these different things, these Huns and all these people, Hittites, these people were once Canaanites. Now, they're constantly changing and bouncing around, getting kicked out of place from place. These are the people who are giving you pornography. It's not Esau. these are the people who are out here. These are your scientists mixed with Esau, because Esau mated with these people. But when you mate and you get to, like I told you have to remember this in the video early on. When you marry into families, you think Esau just took position over everything? Esau did what he know he's supposed to do and kept military. He let these people go over here and act like they, y'all go deal with the Bible. Well, the Talmud and the Kabbalah. Y'all go deal with that. I'm going to deal with these weapons. So when your sorcery wear off, you get what I'm saying? And I got to go out full out war and start killing. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah. So, right now what you have, we're in war. Everybody's beefing with America, Esau, trying to take it down. It's going on from the inside. Why? Because you have the children of Canaan. They know what's going on. They refuse to lose power and go into servitude. So, keep listening to people like Joe Biden. Yes, I know. The average person, Joe Biden, African, you better get it together and stop with this foolishness, thinking that you have to have dark skin to be an African. Stop believing. Again, get a Bible dictionary. Stop believing that color is the end all, like that's it. That's not how it works. People blend in with each other. The children of Cain are blending in with the children of Japheth. The children of Ham are blending in, the wicked children of Ham are blending in with the children of Israel. The wicked children of Ishmael are blending in with the browner tribes of the children of Israel. So, Canaanites. It's more than just Edom. These are the hidden enemies of God who are controlling everything that you're seeing. You keep calling you keep calling them Jewish or whatever you want to call them. Matter of fact, you can jump in the Bible and you're going to see that Esau made it with a Canaanite, had a son. What was his name? You don't know it? Jewish.
His name is Jewish?
Yes. Jeush. Or Juesh.
Okay. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Okay. It's spelled weird.
Yeah. So, if you're wondering where these people are coming from, read your Bible. And we just told you how to spell that name. Go ahead, research it. Look.
Yeah.
So, now you know one of your hidden enemies. So, again, if you want a female god, you go follow these people. You can become a Semite too. We gonna stay Shemites over here.
We good over here.
Yeah, we straight. We like the princely title. So, we out.
Give no shit, you've been deceived. Believe in everything you hear, but not me. For what you seen, nigga, that's TV. That shit is entertainment, that shit for you to believe. See, they wishing on fallen stars to be a star. Maybe get a star, be idolized and married. Babylon, the guitar. Well, what do we have here? Sound like prophecy going on round here. Nothing new under the sun that these demons worship. Bullshit and fuckery given to you on purpose. They'll tell you up is down and right is left. Fool you with plastic hips, ass and breasts. Sculpted and painted, it still won't pass the test. They your highest rejects, simple men of the flesh. The heathen do as thou will, but you the most high's will. Trying to get the flock together and get the sheep up out of here, yeah. Nigga, you've been deceived. Believe in everything you hear, but not me.